What exactly are you promising for the young people, for the youth? You know, akuna mabasa, avana shavari kuita. Imimo, let's say, mapinda magaramu remote kuchise. What are you promising? Kujaiwa this time, ndikugadisa zvakati nezvakati nezvakati. Kosta neta ndikugopiwa rice nemafuta zvazvafarana zvakadaro.
As a member of parliament, what I do and say in parliament can have impact in my constituents. I want to give you 3 things that I have done in parliament that have brought results. I'll start with the road signs, the standard road signs. I took the Minister of Transport to task about why, you know, road traffic signals are by the law, by the Road Traffic Act. You can only put them up if they are gazetted and if they're in terms of the Road Traffic Act. But the government had started putting up some strange new signs at toll gates, and surreptitiously a few here and there. And if you look around, even now, if you go even at the corner here, our road signs in Harare, and in Harare West in particular, are dilapidated. They are from the 50s, 60s, 70s. And the government wasn't replacing them because it works with the council, because they wanted to introduce the SADC road signs because they didn't want to put the old ones because they're obsolete.
And I wanted just to start by agreeing with you. See, the frustration that you highlighted right there is exactly what some of us felt, and the reason why some of us also chose not to run as party candidates for council. Because we take note of this. You know, the guys that are there right now, the incumbents, if I ask anybody who stays in Ward 6 right now, who your councillor is, I promise you, we'll be very lucky. Now, we did door-to-doors, literally all of the roads, about 14 roads, all the way from Cork Road through to Kaunda with a ground team. And we asked, each door would knock, would ask them, do you know who your councillor is? In all of those roads, we met 2 people, 2, who know who the councillor is. And of those 2, the last saw him about 3 years ago. So that is quite telling. So we totally agree where you're saying that we do have a problem. Now, the thought pattern that we want to have is to say, if someone has been a councillor, for example, in Ward 6 here, we've got a guy who's running, under the MDC Alliance. He's coming in for a 3rd term. If he's done so well, can you please show us what he's done? If he can show us what he's done, then there's every reason to get a vote from somebody. But if not, then we're saying to the people, let's try something new at council level. Why continue? And I totally agree with you, my brother. By the way, I like your hairstyle. So the bottom line is simply to say, we want performance in council. I can say this with the greatest of respect, and also, I'll say, if you look at my campaign, check our Facebook wall, our Twitter, we've done a few small things that we're able to do without the label or the office of a councillor. Imagine what we would do if we actually had the office. And I can say that for a whole lot of other independent councillors as well. Many of us have been running what we call doing campaigns. So in our particular, for example, in Ward 6, we've got a Ward 6 Twitter account, so it's at Ward 6 Harare. If someone has an issue, they can literally tweet to us, and we take it to council every Monday.
The situation where ZANU is in the local government, and the MDC is running the city. This is not really about politics, but the fact that when they go into council and they try and make a decision, they fight each other. Whatever and also within the MDC, they're all split up. So nothing has been moving in council for years. ZANU did it badly, MDC took over and they did it badly. Right now we just need people who care about Harare, we want to make sure all the infrastructure works, service is delivered, and they don't have to answer to anyone. It's not anything that needs someone to tell you what to do. So that's my interest going forward. I need to go into council with people like her. Kudzai and I can sit together and we can cross the aisle and say, look, this is what we need to do. Control the budget. We control procurement and tenders. Make sure that money is not wasted. Make sure that 84% of the rates collected should go to service and only 9% goes to salaries. Right now, I think City of Harare has 9,000 employees. They're supposed to work with 6,000. Whether the 6,000, the 9 are actually there or there's ghost workers, and the last time they found a lot of ghost workers, and they reduced the head count, but after that, it's gone up again.
You have had candidates buying you beer over the years, and your problems have never changed because you do not understand what you're doing. So basically the role of an MP is to legislate, to provide oversight, and to represent. So I've been trying to tell people that we need pro-poor policies in Zimbabwe, and only a person who has been through these hardships can change your situation. We need a person who's passionate about people, and that is why I try to engage almost on a daily basis, understand the issues in Harare Central. You'll be shocked to learn that in Ward 2 there is not even a single council school, and most of the children of the maids and the low-income payers, the low-income people, actually go to school in Epworth. They have to catch combis to go to Epworth, where there are schools that they can afford, because there is no council school in Ward 2, and there is no council school as well in Ward 6. So you'll find that the levels of poverty in Zimbabwe are appalling, and we need legislators in parliament who understand what it is like to lack. A revolution has never been won by the haves. It has always been the have-nots. And the tragedy that Zimbabweans have always had over the years is voting for the big men with the big cars who just come to buy their vote and disappear soon after elections.